All right, YouTube fam, what it do? Your boy is back on the grind one more time, and man, am I am feeling about 1,000 times better today, you guys. Man, I'm finally kind of getting my energy back, so I'm feeling a lot better. And I thought I'd come out in the garage and get some stuff done. This garage really needs to be straightened up. I know it kind of looks like a mess right now, but it's organized as I'm getting some things kind of straightened out in preparation. Well, really just getting it straightened up. I haven't really put things in order or anything like that, so it needs to be straightened out. A lot of things need to be thrown away or moved to my storage unit or whatnot. But what I'm doing is organizing the racks a little bit better. Lots of boxes, all car parts. And that one right there. What I'm trying to do here is leave this section open here, so that way when I'm working on my car, I have something to kind of set things on, since I don't have a bench or anything over here. This bench over here with all the crap on it was already here before when we bought the house. I would like to get something a little bit different at some point, but it's actually really good for storage. So that's good. It's just a really big piece, so it doesn't leave me a whole lot of extra storage at all. But you know, once I get all these parts actually on the Chevelle, because those are my wheels, that's all like my wheel wood stuff and suspension pieces. I have stuff over here, stuff over there. I'm gonna take all those tires and stuff to my storage. The boxes on top of that is all my Viking coilover kits and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff that's gonna be actually on the Chevelle that'll actually open up some space for me in the garage here to kind of store more things, or just open up free space so it doesn't feel so cluttered. But that's what I'm out here doing today, kind of straightening it up. But we have a lot of parts that just came in, steady ordering parts, you guys. I don't have the car, so as I get closer and closer to getting the car, I'm ordering more and more parts so we can finish the car by the time we get it back. But with that being said, I do kind of have an update on the car. He sent me a couple pictures as to things that he's done and a couple other things that he's doing. So what I'll do is I'll insert some pictures here in a couple seconds. But what he's done is, if you guys didn't know, I took the original side marker light that's in the rear quarter. Never really liked how it looked. So I took that grill looking piece that covers the light off, and we thinned it down and then made it flush mount, so that way when it lights up, it looks like it'll just like kind of like light up through the rear quarter, and it'll look really nice and just clean. That way you can kind of run your hand over that quarter panel and you won't really feel a thing other than just like the little bit of the lens. That's it. So also, we finally got the rear bumper on. What happened was we ran into a problem with a couple of the cage nuts. So there's some cage nuts that are actually riveted in, I think, on the Chevelle. I think they're actually kind of in between the trunk and the rear portion of the car. And what they are cage nuts. They're like little square nuts that are actually sit inside this cage. That way when you screw your bolt in, the square nut that's sitting inside the cage, it's not supposed to spin. Well, whoever had the car before me or before them actually broke off the head of the bolt, so I never even saw it. If I would have saw it, I would have tried to attack it myself. That way I wouldn't have gave it to my buddy, knowing that, you know, he's probably gonna have to deal with that. So it probably ended up working out because he actually had to cut them out and weld new ones in, and I wouldn't have had the capability to do that because I don't weld. So it ended up working out. It just took a little bit longer than normal because we had to order the cage nut. Yeah, so those are the cage nuts there. So what he had to do was cut the old ones out like you saw on the before pic, and then you saw the new part that he had to actually weld in. So we needed that in order to mount the bumper on there. So we finally got the bumper on there, and my rear custom rear valance, it actually looks like a diffuser now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and show this photo right now. They're not the best photos, but you kind of get an idea of what the car is looking like. And man, oh man, it is coming along. Now, actually, as we speak, right this second, what he's doing now is coating my trunk. Back in the day, I think they used a splatter paint called Zolatone, I believe it's called. And I think that's the correct term for it, or the correct name for it. A lot of people today just call it splatter paint. So we actually were gonna use Zolatone, and it comes in a couple different shades, but we couldn't get it. And then if we could get it, it was really expensive. But the Westco paint company that we buy all of our paint for the Chevelle, for some reason couldn't access it, or didn't have access to it, or it was sold out or whatever. So we couldn't get it, but I ended up coming across a video of a guy who's actually doing a Chevelle, I believe. And he redid his trunk with a splatter paint from AC Delco. And actually the color of it is pretty close to the stock splatter paint color. And so I was able to order about 4 bottles of that because my buddy said he wanted about 4 bottles, so that way he can coat the whole trunk. It's gonna look super nice. So that's the update that I have on the Chevelle right now. So hopefully I'll have it back here pretty soon. He said that he was shooting to have it done after this weekend here, so we'll see. Maybe I'll have it back in a week or two, couple weeks. I don't know, guys, we'll see. But anyways, it is getting worked on. I believe we still have to attack the hood. For some reason, the hood is not lining up for whatever reasons, I don't know. So, or maybe he's worked on it already and he hasn't told me. So we'll see. So keep your fingers crossed for that, you guys. Hopefully that all comes out nice. But in the meantime, I actually got a fair amount of parts in. I ordered a big order from Summit and also OPGI. Shout out to my girl, you guys, for getting me a gift for the Chevelle. She gave me a gift for the Chevelle to reupholster my rear seats. So I have a set of 2014 seats out of a Camaro or something like that, the rear seats, and I was going to use those, which I still might. But I decided to not get those recovered because eventually, probably my BMW seats right here, I don't think they need to be recovered at all, actually. They're actually in really, really good condition. If you guys can kind of see them there, they're really good shape. I just don't know exactly what I want to do with the rear seats yet. So I didn't want to go in on redoing my rear seats that I got out of the Camaro to match this and not really know what I was gonna do. As you can see, these are in pretty good shape. You see a little bit of wear right here and a little bit of wear right here from people getting in and out. This is the driver's seat, but I've seen a lot of videos on people reconditioning leather. I mean, literally like massaging the leather solution into the seats for long periods of time and really restoring the life of the leather. And it actually turned out that they looked really new. So, and it even kind of restored like little things like this. I know I won't be able to get it all out, but I'm hoping if I follow those procedures that I'll be able to get the seats to kind of look somewhat new. So that's what I'm hoping. So with that being said, what I decided to do instead of redoing my Camaro seats is buy a set of OG rear seat covers for the Chevelle, because the Chevelle actually came with a set of rear seats. What I decided to do was get a set of 71 Chevelle rear seat covers and just redo those, and then I can just use my stock ones for now until I figure out what I want to do for my seats a little bit later on. But if I like how they look with these in there as well, then I'll just probably just run it like that, because it's not uncommon to have a rear OG seat with a set of bucket seats that are different or didn't come with the car for a lot of these old school cars anyway, because a lot of people will do racing seats or they'll do some sort of bucket style seat that doesn't necessarily match the pattern, but it doesn't necessarily look as bad either. So what I'll do is I'll get this camera set up and we'll go over some parts here that I have gotten in, and then shoot, we'll go from there. If you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, hitting that notification bell, you guys. I'm restoring a 1971 Chevelle. If you didn't know that by now, pretty much restoring it from the ground up. I'm doing all the work, and a couple buddies of mine as well. So we're gonna get this thing dialed in. Hopefully we'll get the car back soon so you guys can see it. And shoot, we're gonna get this thing back together hopefully before the summertime. So let me set this camera up, you guys, and we'll go in on these parts. All right, y'all, so here we go. We got some parts in. So these parts right here all came from OPGI, and then this box along with another box came from Summit. So what I got here first is this is a part for my center console. This is like the rear piece for the center console. It has a built-in light in there with all the wiring and stuff and all the hardware for it. So I was missing one. The center console that I got is actually from not a trailer, but a storage unit that whoever wasn't paying on it, I guess it was auctioned off at a small town near my girl's house, and it ended up having a bunch of car parts in it. So the guy was selling this console for like 75 bucks or something like that, and I think I offered him like, no, I think he was selling it for like 100, and I offered him like 75. He said he'll take whatever. So I got a center console out of it. I just restored it myself. It looks good, and I just needed this piece. So I got that in, and this is the hardware for it, for that center console. So that's the part number there from OPGI. I think it looks like it might be that one, 97CH030 maybe? 68 to 72 on that one. Also, I got this right here. So this is a steering wheel coupler, as the one that I have on my car right now is probably the original one. And I had another one before, but I'm actually glad I returned it because I think it was the wrong one. But this is one that goes through many different, or a few different years, I think, for GM. Let's see, 67 to 72. So got that there, so that'll hopefully firm up my steering on my Chevelle. These are the seats. Take it out so you guys can see. First off, this is the part number if you guys are trying to find the part number on these. So these are from Legendary. And if you guys know anything about Legendary upholstery, or where do they got Legendary? They might just be called Legendary, but they're kind of considered the more, I guess, upper class or upper tier of all your original style upholstery, not custom like TMI or anything like that. They are made with really good quality. And a little bit better than kind of like your normal resto parts companies that make these seat covers. So, oh man, let's see if I can take one of them out. Yeah, I'll take this one out. So, just so you guys can kind of get an idea, this is the pattern right here. And I think this might be, I'm not sure if this is the bottom piece or not. I don't know. Oh, this might be the bottom piece, the part that you sit on. Yeah. So that's that there. It's just OG. That's it. Just OG. And I still got to buy some hog rings. And I think I have a hog ring tool. Yeah, I think it's hanging over there on my little pegboard. But yeah, you guys, that's it. It's really, really nice. Nicely made. And has a Legendary tag on it as well too. So yeah, I'm excited to restore those seats. What I'll have to do too is there's a few videos on how to do this. You can use the what is it called? What is that stuff called? I forgot. But you can use the foam or the baffling and gosh, I forgot what that other stuff is called. But whatever. But what I think I'm going to do is there's videos on there as well that use just foam from like Big Lots or Hobby Lobby. You can buy foam there, at different thicknesses. And so I'm just gonna follow a guy that I know that I've seen his videos a couple times. He restored a Chevelle way back in the day, and he just did his own seats and everything, and it turned out really good. So he just used some foam, and it turned out really nice. So they make kits for these as well, like all the baffling and stuff that you use for the seats, but it's like almost $200, and I didn't want to pay that when I could go just get some foam that's actually used for seats for like $20 for whatever, like a 20-foot, 30-foot roll. So I think I'm gonna go that route and not worry about it. So anyways, you guys, that's pretty much that there. And now I'll go ahead and open up this box. So these are just some other parts that I needed for the Chevelle. And again, shoot guys, just trying to stack up these parts the best that I can, so that way when we get the Chevelle, there is no hiccups, or we want to keep the wait time down as long as we can. So I'm trying to just order everything that I think I'm going to need in advance. But first up, we have, oh, I got some ball joints. So there should be 4 sets of ball joints in here. Yep. So these are top ball joints, and what these are is these are the taller ball joints. So why I went with the taller ones is I've been doing a lot of research on this, and they say the taller ball joints, this is about a 1/2 inch longer than your normal ball joint, is actually supposed to correct the caster, I believe, on our cars or on old school cars. So that'll help with the drivability of it, the handling, and it also help keep the wheel flatter and more level to the ground. So I got 2 of these. Man, these are expensive. I didn't realize how expensive they were. I mean, $50 for just one. And man, so hopefully these will work. So these are the bolt-in style as well. And I have my tubular upper control arms over there in the box. So I'm going to use my tubular uppers. And these are the lowers. Oh, let me show you these part number if you guys are interested in it. Looks like it's 101-100-16 on those uppers. These are Pro Forged. Yeah, Pro Forged, same thing with those as well. This is the part number 101-100-14. Let's go ahead and try to open this up. So these are also a 1/2 inch longer. Now, I've read both. You can do taller lowers, but it's not necessarily needed. They said sometimes if you go too long on the uppers and the lowers, then you can get some binding. But I went with a 1/2 inch longer on these just because I knew that even they say that the stock ones being a little bit shorter still can cause a little bit of issue. So I just went with the taller ones as well. Plus, another reason why I did it is I guess the taller lower ball joints actually also lower the car just a little bit as well. How it does that, I really don't know. But that is the word. So I think they said it'll actually sit about a 1/4 inch or so lower with the taller ball joint. So that's why I got this ball joint as well. So these have to be pressed in. So I'm gonna have to press my other ones out and then press these ones in. And also, what I think I decided to do is I'm gonna go ahead and use those tubular lowers as well. In my previous video, I had mentioned, or a couple videos ago, I had mentioned that I was going to use my stock lowers because there's really no need to change your stock lowers on a car that's not going to be for the track or anything like that. You get the most benefit out of the tubular uppers from all my research at least. But I decided that since I already have them, there's no use for me to just use the tubular uppers and keep my stock lowers and then put those tubular lowers on my Buick or something like that. It just didn't really make any sense. Since I already have them, they're already ready to go. I just got to put the new ball joints in it, so I just might as well just do that. That way also I don't have to worry about messing with my old ones and worry about powder coating my old ones and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do that. I got a new harmonic balancer bolt as well, since I'm going to need that because I have the stock harmonic balancer bolt in my car right now. And with the stock ones, it's only a one-time use because they're torque to yield. So I got this ARP one, and these are reusable. And these bolts are a pretty penny. I actually was just going to get another stock one, but since I'm going with the supercharger on it and everything, you know, pay a little extra to get some top-notch stuff. And then I had to get this super damper here in order to run my supercharger kit that I got from CVF. So I was kind of confused because I thought that maybe it did come with the supercharger kit, but it doesn't, of course. So I had to fork out another few $100 for this one. And so I'm going to take off my old harmonic balancer and put this one in. And let me take this out. I've never even seen one. I never even have put one on before at all. But anyways, some of them you can buy just the balancer or you can buy the hub as well. So I was happy that they both came together. So this is the hub. Comes with the hardware. Looks like it has a keyed portion there too, just in case you want to key it, which I'm going to have to do that on mine. Pin the crank is what they call it. And then this is, I think this is the balancer, yeah. So this is the balancer right here. And the word is I won't take that all out. But so what it is the CVF kit also comes with like a balancer adapter, and that'll sit over this portion here, and then I screw it in. So these screws here, right here, screw to this portion here, so so the balancer goes onto the hub, and then there's 3 spare, I think, bolt holes that you can actually attach the adapter onto this, and then that's how you mount that on there. So from my understanding, I guess these spin more efficient than your stock ones. So, but this is the one that it called for mine, and so that's why I went with it. So yep, that's that there. I'll show you the part number on this for my particular build. That's what it calls for, ATI 917303. So we got that there. We got this right here. So we have something from UMI. Whew. Parts. It's always a feeling of Christmas time when you get more parts in. All right, so this from UMI here is actually a shock tower brace. And again, doing my research on coilovers and everything, when you do coilovers, what it's doing is actually relocating the coil from usually at stock location to right over the shock. So what you're doing is you're taking tension and stress that coil, the original coil, would normally have supporting the weight of the car, instead putting it all on that coilover. And so for example, like on the rear of my car, my shocks, the coilovers are going to go into the stock location pretty much where the shocks would normally be. And with that being said, the coil will also be in that same location. So the shock towers on the car were never made for that type of weight and that type of stress on the vehicle. So what they made, and what is it is highly suggested, so that way if you guys are running if you guys aren't running these types of braces or anything like that, you probably should. So you'll probably be okay for a while at least, especially if you're just kind of just scooting around town with the car and not really getting on it or anything like that. But over time, I've heard stories of stress points and cracks and things like that in the shock tower and just around that portion of the car because they didn't have a brace. So let me go ahead and open this up so you guys can see it. Maybe I can undo a portion of it. But it comes with all the hardware. It looks like it's item number 4058. And I'll open up maybe one end of it so you guys can kind of get an idea of what it actually looks like. Oh, that was easy. So this is pretty much what it looks like. So what it does is it sits over the top of the shock tower. So it goes shock tower to shock tower on the other side. So, you know, driver to passenger side. And it sits on top of the shock tower. And then you have your shock tower, and then you have your coilover right below it. So what it does is it adds that extra rigidity and strength to both shock towers and underneath the car, so you don't have so much stress and strain on that shock tower section. And it's supposed to help out a lot. It's actually highly suggested on UMI's website and any coilover website for that matter. So I know like Global West has their own version and other companies have their own version. I heard they were kind of a pain in the butt to put in, but I just didn't want any other troubles. I know people aren't running them and they've probably been okay, but for all this money that I'm putting in this car, I don't need another headache because I could have went and, you know, got this and avoided it all. So anyways, got that there, so that's good. I think that was like only like $150, but I say only, but man, this build is adding up for sure. I did also order another piece. I ordered it from Speedway. I saw it actually on Speedway's YouTube. On the front portion of the car, when I'm doing the coilovers, there's actually a plate that you can buy. It's just a round plate that has provisions for the shock or the coilover screws, and there's an opening that the coilovers that sits in. And then what that plate does is it distributes the weight evenly on the bottom of the lower A-arm, so that way it kind of acts like there is a coil, an actual coil sitting there, versus the coilover actually just sitting where it mounts. Because then again, you're gonna have that stress of the coil and the shock itself riding just simply on where the shock would normally mount and not where the coil is as well too. So again, it just adds a little bit of extra strength and rigidity to the overall surface area. So I know a lot of these tubular A-arms are actually built for them a lot better than your normal GM stamped lower control arm. So it's kind of more for that. I actually ordered it thinking that I was going to use my stock lowers, but I'm probably going to use my tubular ones now. So I'll see what they kind of look like in there as well, and then if I need to go with them, great. If not, then at least I just have them. It was only like $19, so that's why I got those. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much it. I just wanted to show you all the parts that I got. Man, these parts are piling up, you guys. I mean, parts everywhere, you guys. I got parts everywhere, but man, oh man, is this Chevelle gonna be one nice ride when it's all said and done. So anyways, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to start to attack cleaning up this garage. Try to get some stuff done, and then I have to go inside here and write a workout for tomorrow for one of our new coaches to teach for us. She actually taken over our Sundays for us, so that's good. And shoot, I'm just gonna just relax the rest of the night. But anyways, again, if you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, y'all. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, y'all. My name is Mr. Griffin 23. Thank you for tuning in. And man, hopefully we'll have the Chevelle back in a couple weeks. And when we get it, we are going in, all right? Deuces, peace out.